Welcome back. I'm Tim Berry, and I'm here with Kristi Ashton to give another update on the COVID virus. We're into month 4 now, and hoping for a resolution at some point in time. Kristi, this week, lots of conversation about testing, and I know we've talked about testing in times past, and I know also that landscape has changed. So where are we today?
So as of today, we received some guidance last Friday. It's an amended executive order by Governor Hogan that says regardless of what happens in your facility, if you've been all clear, as we have, which we've been so fortunate to be able to say that, or if you've had cases, there's now a mandate that says that all staff, volunteers, and vendors, basically anyone that enters your facility, needs to be tested on a weekly basis. So that's hot off the press as of Friday.
So 2 weeks ago, we were thinking monthly testing, and then we were thinking testing every other week. We have been in another category, not having COVID in-house, and now the testing requirement is weekly for the foreseeable future?
We believe so. That's what we've been told as of the most recent guidance.
Okay, and that's testing of staff and residents, or are the residents in any way excluded from that testing?
So in the guidance we received last Friday, it just mentions staff and anyone who regularly enters the facility, so not necessarily the residents.
Okay, so only if there's signs or symptoms would a resident be tested?
Correct. If they're symptomatic or if they're brand new coming into our facility from the hospital, we would ask that a test be done just as we have in the past.
Okay, and I understand there's a significant update today that we're going to be paying attention to see if there's any additional guidance.
Yep. That's true.
Okay, super. In the guidance that we're receiving and the conversations that are now taking place, there's a lot of discussion about reopening and what that means. So first, kind of from 30,000 feet, how do you see reopening here and how we're going to proceed with that?
So I'll make this a 2-part. So my first thought, and this is I'm a nurse first before all this COVID stuff started. So my nursing brain said it makes me a little nervous whenever I think about reopening, just because on a non-COVID time, when we're just dealing with influenza, it's really critical for us during this time, during flu season and GI outbreak season. So it does make me a little nervous, from a nursing perspective whenever we talk about reopening. However, I also acknowledge the importance of reestablishing connection when we do have the all clear and things like that. So we're really, it's great in one way because CMS, the Center for Medicaid Services, and the state have both kind of outlined criteria that we need to meet in order to be able to relax some of these guidelines, some of the restrictions that we have in place. So that's good. It's just, we're constantly trying to figure out what's black and what's white and, what we need to do moving forward while maintaining safety. That's the biggest piece of this. And, being a nurse and being in a population where we're serving such vulnerable people that are, could be subjected to this virus, it's just so critical for us to just kind of sit back and let things kind of settle a little bit before we really jump in and say, okay, let's reopen. It's so important for us to be careful.
So we're in a tri-state area, and we're watching restaurants and other businesses that are reopening now. It might be possible that our families would see that something is being reopened or reinstituted, and we may not be. Is that something that might be expected?
Yeah, right now, if we look at Washington County, over the last 2 weeks, lots of opening up of things, dining, gyms, all sorts of outdoor activity things, even indoor activities, arcades, I think were last Friday also. So it is super, super important while the county's saying, okay, we're phasing our reopening, the guidance has been clear in one respect to say that long-term care facilities don't follow that schedule. We need to lag behind. I think the guidance says 14 days, but even a little bit greater than 14 days is certainly within our best interest.
Okay, so we've seen some variation even within our provider community here locally of how some guidance is being handled. So is it also true that even within our community in Washington County, that some providers, some nursing facilities, assisted living facilities maybe reopening in a different way. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's absolutely possible. I mean, we're given this, it's called guidance, but, there's some of that is mandates, as, Governor Hogan puts out, and some of it is just termed guidance. So it certainly is up to facilities, I think, to figure out what's best for them. From our standpoint, we really do walk hand in hand with the health department. We lean on them, and I'm so grateful for their support, as well as the community providers. They should be leaning on them also, because they are the experts in our community, and to be able to tell us when things look good here.
Now, on that note, with the Washington County Health Department, they've been tremendous providers.
They sure have.
They're going to be coming out, and we're going to be having some meetings or some discussion around what the facility is doing and where we are relative to how we're protecting us and our residents in particular. Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. So we are planning to hopefully one day this week be able to have some leaders from the health department come in and just kind of give us second set of eyes on our facility, to be able to look at some different things, make sure that we're putting our best foot forward on all those fronts, as we believe we are. It's always nice to have that connection with the health department. They're willing to come in and give us a second set of eyes, and we're so grateful for that.
All right, well, that's terrific. More information will be provided in the near future. That we have mentioned many times before that the landscape on this is ever changing, and that's proven to be very true. So we appreciate your time, Kristi, and we'll look forward to another update next week.
Great. Thank you all.
Thank you.